We're live.
That was fast. All right. Hello, everybody. I'm online. Look at you with your mug. Welcome to the Mid-Geek Crisis.
What a week! What a week! What a week! Thank you, news sources for releasing stories today as opposed to tomorrow, so that I can talk about them today.
That's exactly right. Usually we catch it the day after, and we're like, "Oh, that would have been good to talk about."
Yeah. Let's kick this off. What are we?
Yeah.
Episode 118 of the Mid-Geek Crisis. Let's roll them credits. Welcome to episode 118 of the Mid-Geek Crisis. My name is Joe, the Afroman, and
I am
partner
Pedro.
in crime.
Pedro, Cautious Online. Welcome. Thanks for jumping on, Dan. Always a pleasure. Friend of the show.
How was your week? How was the start of the week for you?
I mean, it's in the books. We're putting March away soon, which is good. What's up, Rolls and Pergamene? Look at all these folks jumping on. Thanks for jumping on, folks. Thank you.
I got a tankard of coffee tonight.
Not as much video games or gaming as I would like, but the start of some good games coming up. I'm very excited.
How's the spring coming for you? I think we got some flowers growing where you're at. We had some pretty decent weather.
So, no? I mean, like everyone every year is always fooled by spring and March, right? Like we're going to have at least one more snowfall up here before the end of the season, but it's been really nice, very sunny, which I enjoy. But we're gonna get one more snowfall. That's just the way Syracuse.
That's just the way the Syracuse rolls.
At least one more, yeah, or at least a couple more cold days.
Yeah, no. I get it. We got. It's been the Texas winter. The end of Texas winter is always weird, right? Because it wants to stay cold and then it comes in warm, cold, warm. So it's like it'll be 40 degrees one night. And then, the next day, it's 70 degrees, and so
that's that Midwest spring, right? You get a nice cold, and then it snows and stuff like that. Yeah. That's like fall in September. Still gonna have another 100-degree day. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's still that long summer day. So.
Yep.
Yeah, but otherwise, it's been good. No complaints.
Yeah.
Healthy, hearty. Hey, Adam, thanks for jumping on.
Let's kill that.
Joe's got a huge list of things we need to talk about, but he's not ready. There's so much stuff.
So much stuff. So you did not get to watch the Snyder Experience.
Oh yeah, I just couldn't find time to cram 4 hours into my
half a workday. Half a workday.
How am I going to find the time to watch?
I reported on my taxes. I'm writing it off. Yeah,
it's a work expense. Mm-hmm. Just think of it as a 5-episode TV show. That's it's funny. Yesterday I was like, maybe I just need to think of it, eat it up in chunks, and then I wound up watching regular show instead and falling asleep in the first 8 seconds of it. So.
Regular show?
Yeah, because it's right there in HBO Max. I'm like, I'll watch this for 10 minutes and I'm asleep in 5. So
yes. Oh, come on, Rawls, you're killing me. 4 hours that I'm going to give Snyder at least another 8 hours of my life for this movie. I'm going to watch that movie 2 more times over. That was phenomenal. I have nothing really bad to say about it, but then again, it is I who is talking.
I want to check it out as sort of an academic kind of what people can do, how people can tell 2 different stories with the same or similar edits. Similar scenes. It's an interesting sort of art piece.
It's essentially like you're giving 2 chefs the same exact ingredients.
Yeah, and they're coming up with and Snyder's got his own secret sauce. He had some more ingredients that he threw in there. It was as good as a B-level Marvel film, Legacy 77. Come on.
Yeah, but all Marvel's mediocre.
So my question here. All right. So Here's my question. It's like 4 hours long, right?
Right.
Is it like, does it feel like 4 hours?
So
Or does it feel like
so
4
so
hours
the way
like Avengers felt like 4 hours?
so no, it's clearly cut into chapters. Like there will be long hunks, and then it'll go to black, and it'll say chapter 2. This. So it's, I mean, he specifically cut it up into chunks so that you could watch this particular moment and then stop. It's long. It's really long. I mean, but I can't be the one to kind of tell you, how it's going to feel, because I consumed it, right? Like I really wanted to consume it. So
that's a hungry boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you, Pergamene. I read, of course, like this big spoiler list on.
Yeah. I mean,
just the differences from the first movie, and as I'm reading it, I'm like, I don't remember the first one, like the original theatrical cut, at all. Like I don't, I don't remember it at all. The villain, maybe some of the actors in the scenes.
Well, I mean that's honestly, I think that speaks volumes for the type of movie that it was. It was, I mean, it went from 2 hours to 4 hours, and it was forgettable. Now we have to even talk about the fact how Joss Whedon just cut out entire characters because he didn't find them important. Like the character of Color. Just decided to just cut him out completely.
Which, in retrospect, as we start to look at all the stuff coming out about Whedon now, makes sense.
Makes complete sense, right? So, absolutely.
It's weird though, maybe putting in a position where I think Zack Snyder might be better, but I'm just he's so terrible in my eyes. I don't know.
Oh, like director wise? Yeah. Although I mean, I have always been a fan of his artistic eye, like the way he just really he likes to storyboard. He really, everything that's on screen is exactly how he envisions it in a storyboard.
Sure, he really knows how to take a comic book scene and put it into a movie screen.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what he's known for. And seeing a lot of the behind the scenes from this, and when I saw the behind the scenes for 300 and all that, he's a very active director. He really likes to get out there in the fields. I want you to do this, and he runs around. And he acts it out, and I want you to boom, do this and hit this way. And I'm just all right, you're out there, you're enjoying it. I see your vision. I get it. I get your energy, and it looks like that's what everyone's complaint was. Is Joss is he was just very demanding, and he wasn't engaging. The actors.
Is that old school director versus the kind of new school? Maybe
I guess I don't know. I don't know which one would be what. I know that Zack Snyder would be more hands-on and definitely takes into account the character. He writes the character for the actor as opposed to vice versa. I feel like the character of Aquaman is really tailored for Momoa.
All right.
It's not vice versa. He didn't shoehorn Momoa into the role of Aquaman that we have known before. He was we're gonna make Aquaman, and Momoa, I think I'm gonna make Momoa the new Aquaman, his character. It's hard to see Aquaman as anyone else but Momoa now, because
it makes way more sense that someone of the
it does as opposed to blonde hair, blue eyes Nazi. No, I get it, and he saw that from the very beginning. I mean, he casted him very early on as Aquaman.
I just wish it felt like his movies were made by human beings. I think that's maybe the most succinct. Yes, he's like a robot director. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Folks seem to be enjoying it. The folks that want to enjoy it. The folks that
wanted to enjoy it are enjoying it even more than they thought. There have been a lot of converts in the sense that there were a lot of people that hated the original cut and hated a lot of Snyder. They were really surprised to see what Snyder could do when he's given complete carte blanche.
Yep.
And
time. Yep.
Yeah, give him all the time. I do think everyone always asks this, and I think the best way I'll answer it, at least to what I think, is that was Justice League always supposed to be 4 hours? No, absolutely not. And I see a lot of people complaining why is it 4 hours? Oh my God! I think when you're given one last hurrah, you're basically told, leave it out on the field. Just put it all out there. You're gonna. I mean, this is the last time he could possibly direct a DC movie.
I love the idea that you. I love that you believe that someone was just go, Snyder. Go create your artistic vision because we want to put art out there. That's a load of crap.
No, I don't want to believe that.
These are corporate entities looking to cash in on your fandom.
Sure, and the fandom requested it. Like the entire campaign for the Snyder Cut was because the fans demanded it.
The fandom requested it, and I guarantee you that if Justice League 2 had come out as directed by Joss Whedon, the fans would have been there opening night anyway. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they put out, what giant turd they put out, directed by the giant turd. The fans are going to be there, even just to hate it, right? So this is about. Yeah,
but you and I both know that there would have never been a Justice League 2 because Justice League 1 was that bad.
Dude, Justice League 1 was one of the ones I enjoyed. That's the saddest.
Yeah, I know that's the sad part, right?
Either my standards were so low, but I was like, yeah, this wasn't that bad. I enjoyed it. This is a hilarious episode. Thanks, Adam. Yeah, and we could talk about. I think we talk about 100 of 118 episodes. We talk about how fandoms are super toxic more often than not. So I'm with you there. Joe, magic is real. Cautious but capitalism.
It's true. It's true. I want to believe. Do you think
Hogwarts charged tuition? I think they did. I also think a lot of those professors at Hogwarts adjuncts. I'm just going to throw it out there.
You son of a bitch! Why? Why are you doing this to us? God, just take the magic away from the School of Magic. Look at this guy.
Defense of Dark Arts. That's a rotating adjunct seat. That's just like.
Well, I mean, that's true. And he's underpaid, which means you wonder why he's always the villain, right? No, I get it. I would be the villainy too if I had to move across freaking England or whatever.
Capitalism. That's another reason to hate Harry Potter, for the record. Oh, look, DC and Harry Potter, WB Properties, coincidence?
I think not! Tinfoil hat.
So much money to be made, tinfoil hat. Everybody protect your brains.
Protect your brains, protect your brains. Protect them.
All right, so what else do we have?
Oh, man, so yes, so if you haven't gotten a chance to go watch Justice League, please, whatever you are for fandom-wise, it is definitely, it is made for the fans.
Is it on the Max for Forevers, or is it just like Tom and Jerry where we have to patiently wait for it to disappear from the options? I mean, do you load up HBO Max and you're like, man, I wish that wasn't there as a choice.
I wish it wasn't there. I don't want to accidentally click on that and get...
Please stop suggesting this. Just hide it. Oh, see, my cat comes out. You complain about Tom and Jerry?
You complain about Tom and Jerry? Yeah. Oh God, yeah, no. I don't. Honestly, I think Justice League is definitely one that's there for good. It's not like it's one of the theatrical 31 days and then it goes away kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was a time limit on it.
So speaking of HBO Max and Warner Brothers in general, let's go. Best segue we could possibly get there is we were put out. Today was kind of a weird news day for movies in general, just movie news. We got more movie news than we would have thought, but then again, it is Tuesday after the release of Justice League, so there is some like fallout or like, hey, let's reevaluate things.
Keep that buzz going.
Yeah, keep the buzz going. So Warner Brothers did put out a kind of something that I guess should have been obvious.
We all do. We're trying to do better, Rita. We're trying to do better. I just wish people don't hate on DC movies so much. I'm trying to be better. Just don't make crappy movies, right?
So, Warner Brothers won't be premiering on HBO Max on 2022. So, I mean, we kind of knew this. We figured that the gift that is getting theatrical movies first run was because of the pandemic, and so we were given kind of a gift by the studios to put out, they don't have enough time.
What a positive way to put it.
What a positive way to put it. No, honestly, it has to do a lot with...
You're all suffering at home. Here you go.
I mean, you and I both know that it's because they've got these movies sitting in the can, and they can't move on to new projects without releasing these, and they don't have enough dates to release them if they push them out too long, right? Like,
is that really it? Like, the idea is that we've got a limited number of movie theaters that we can release?
I mean, you have to think about all the movie studios that they're competing against. Disney, Warner Brothers, all the other ones, Paramount, all of them, they all have movies that they want to put out, Sony Pictures. And so if you have so many sitting in the waiting room to be released, as soon as the gates open up, you're going to get a flood of, Fridays and Saturdays. So then you're competing, which means that you end up getting less movies anyway. Like, they're going to get the same amount of money anyway.
But have they been filling their warehouse full of movies with more movies? Because it seems like, wouldn't the pandemic have slowed down production as well? I don't follow. Where's Tim? Tim's our movie guy, right?
So productions have been slower as of late, right? Like production has kicked off. The infamous Tom Cruise, ripped into everybody at Mission Impossible, about the mask.
Oh, the loose mask, yeah.
Yeah, and he just ripped because productions have been stopped and halted and fined for that kind of stuff. So movie production is slower. At the same time, studios aren't making the money back from these movies, so they can't reinvest it. So I think instead of it sitting there and the movie going stagnant to the point that all hype has been lost, they'd rather release it and make some of that money back, even if they can make production costs back. I think they'll come back with they'll try to make the money, the secondhand money from video sales and rentals and all that kind of stuff. I mean, honestly, I don't know.
Features. Get us a reason to go out. Give us double features, old movie, new movie, showing up on the big screen. That picture scared me though, because I saw Dune and I thought they were going to be like, nope, we changed our mind. Dune's not going to be on HBO Max.
I think you're right. I think movie tickets are going to go up a little bit. I don't know how much more they could go up. There's a glass ceiling in the Northeast. I know that. I mean, there's only so much before you can. I mean, tickets are almost $20 a pop, right?
Disney Plus tested it at 30, right? That's 30 at home.
At 30 at home, so that would be $15 a person if you were a couple watching a movie. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I know movie theaters are struggling. AMC is struggling. Regal is struggling. There's a lot of the whole purpose of this article for Warner Brothers was that there was. If I want to go back here real quick, it says here that according to the Deadline report on Tuesday, Warner Brothers reached a deal with Cineworld, the owners of Regal Cinema, for a 45-day exclusive theatrical window. Starting in 2022, this means that Warner Brothers films will need to be in theaters for at least 45 days before they can appear on streaming or video-on-demand platforms.
So that's what we're looking at, the sort of 6 weeks, the 6-week window to catch it in the theaters. Otherwise, you're watching it on HBO Max. That's what we're going to look at. Which 6 weeks is a good amount of time to go to the movies, right?
Yeah. I think
you don't see it in the first 6 weeks. You're
not going to see it at the theater.
You're not going to see it at the theaters, and spoilers for you all day long.
I've always been interested. I'm not super familiar with how Hollywood works with that moment it's dead at the theater and how long it takes to be put on video. Like, why can't I buy a movie that came out in theaters a month ago now? I mean, it's already there.
Why can't I buy it on the way out of the theater? Right. Right, that's it. Because the rights are very confusing.
I mean, I understand all of that, but obviously they were able, with the pandemic and the way the power of the studio came into play during this whole pandemic, we obviously saw a shift. And so now we've got agreements of 45 days where, what were the agreements before? Were they like 3 months? Were they 90 days? And now they're 45 as opposed to 30?
That's got to be it.
Yeah.
Imagine leveraging the pandemic to re-broker deals with movie theaters. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. It is amazing.
Are there still discount theaters? Dan asked. Formerly $1 theaters. Yeah.
Oh, man.
There's one in Rochester for sure. I didn't realize it was Kick-Ass, but there's one in Rochester for sure.
There was one in Syracuse out in Martindale is what it's called.
Yes.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
Across the street from China Road, I think is what it was called.
Yep. Mattydale.
There we go. Out in Mattydale. So yeah.
But yes, here's the deal. That one's gone.
Oh man, that one was pretty bad. I remember we went to go see.
Oh, be nice.
We saw one of what was it?
They were already pretty slim margin propositions, right? That's why they had to stay fresh with their new movies. So I imagine a lot of them had a lot of trouble during the pandemic. Like 2 months, maybe they could have survived. I saw Godzilla there. That's awesome.
Yeah. I saw Paranorman.
All right.
We saw Paranorman there. Yeah. We saw Paranorman there, and that was a good movie. And the theater matched the ambiance.
All right then. Awesome.
Like you walked in, and like as soon as you walk in, your feet stuck to the floor. You bought your tickets and the concession stand all at the same time, and then it was just like a straight hallway, and then like a curtain. That was the way to the theater. Like that was it. It was really janky, and I appreciated it for what it was.
That's fantastic. So This is why I love going to theaters, and also why I hate it. But I love this, right?
Oh,
When
yeah.
Godzilla came up in the ocean, some lady behind me shot at top of her
Oh
lungs.
shit, he coming!
It was top movie book for me. Yeah, I have a story just like that with Wrong Turn, where they yelled from the back after the first gory, bloody murder scene in Elijah Dushku's Wrong Turn. From the back, we heard that bee just took a wrong turn, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the best. Whole theater laughed, and the whole tenseness changed.
The tenseness changed. From then on, you're like, oh crap.
I'm not watching a gory film anymore. We're watching a comedy because we're all going to be laughing for the rest of the
oh crap. What next wrong turn is she going to take?
Yes, exactly. So it's good stuff.
Oh, man. So, yes, we are still getting Dune. I'm excited for that.
That picture scared the heck out of me.
Yeah, it did too. So again, more movie news for today was Disney kind of made some changes to their lineup. I mean, of course, everything is fluid because of the pandemic and how dates are changing with vaccines and rollout and all that kind of stuff. So Disney bumped Cruella and so they moved them up in time, which is good, I guess. But one of the
as in they're going to ask for $30 sooner.
Yes. So Cruella will be out. It's still slated for May 28th, and Black Widow will debut theatrically and on Disney Plus Premier Access at the same time.
No, that's actually okay.
So Black Widow, that's a movie. That's going to be an interesting movie for sure. I want to see it. I just
let's go to the fandom.
It's interesting because Marvel hasn't had a lot of female-led characters, and it sucks that the Black Widow movie.
Zero.
Well, they had Captain Marvel, right, and
yeah,
sort of.
They did have Captain Marvel. You're right. That one, that one feels such like a blurred film because it's got so much in it.
Yeah,
because it felt like it had to bridge so much plot.
It's a bad movie, is what it is.
It is a bad movie.
It's a bad movie.
I keep trying to,
but I mean, honestly, again, I'm trying to stay neutral with the whole comic theme, and I love them all, and I'm so glad that it exists. But there's totally Marvel apologists for that movie. They're like, oh, it's great. I'm like, no, it's a bad movie.
No, I mean, you can't make 17 movies and they all be bangers, right? There's going to be a few that are going to be bad, and that's definitely in the bottom tier of it.
I'm the one guy that lost it when I saw widescreen. When I saw the widescreen Street Fighter machine in the background, I was like,
because it's the wrong time period.
Yeah, it's 1990s Street Fighter 2 machine with a widescreen on it. I'm like, what is going on here?
Top third. I don't. I'd be curious as to why you think that, because I think the plot is super confusing.
Captain Marvel is a terrible Marvel movie.
I don't know about terrible. I just the plot did not make any sense to me, and it didn't do anything for me.
It had no repercussions. No.
To be fair to Captain Marvel, 2/3 of the Marvel films are like that for me, though. So there's a lot that I feel like are not there to resolve anything, and instead to make me go watch the next movie.
I mean, it's no Guardians of the Galaxy.
Or Thor Ragnarok, which I think is number one.
And my problem is Captain Marvel fits right in between. I mean, Captain Marvel is the bridge between the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy universe. It's like space and human.
And also, it's going to move us into the next tier, right?
Right, and it gave me nothing. I couldn't. I mean, I know the Skrull were in the movie, and the Skrull and the Kree were, and they flipped it so that was like the one thing that I was like, okay, cool.
Captain Marvel or Wonder Woman 1984 though, which was the worst period film?
That's a hot take. I don't know about. I could, maybe. I mean,
it has
only
qualities.
No, sure, okay. Only convincing between women in all comic book movies. Okay, sure.
It's got redeeming qualities. That's fair.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can go with that. But like, other than that, I think she's a boring character till the very end. And at the very end, you finally get her to do something, and then she does it, and then you're just like,
we can say that about all the Superman movies, though. Moving on.
Yeah, you can't. You're not. I'm not letting you leave that one there, sir. I'm not letting you leave that one at all.
Joe, when Joe and I first met, we had a conversation about Superman Returns.
Oh God.
And Joe spent like an hour drinking and defending it to me.
Oh yeah,
I'm sitting there being like, "Oh, dude, I don't know that we can."
No, I only defended, but I defended it through tears, right?
Yeah.
Like it was through tears.
By the end of the bottle, definitely.
I definitely. It was one of those movies that hurt me. That one is like one of those like, sir, can you show me where the movie hurt you? And I'm like, all over. Yeah. Superman Returns is, man.
So I don't know. Disney bumping movies, Warner Brothers. Oh, Disney's moving movies up. Warner Brothers is not giving us any movies in 2022. I mean, everything's weird and different when it comes to movies. Oh, that is.
You're dead and buried on that hill, sir, because that is absolutely incorrect in every case of the word.
That is a hill that Lex Luthor has sold you.
Yeah, dude, he sold you with in a grand real estate scheme because there is no way in God's green earth that is a correct statement.
But I will give you that watching Superman get shanked is totally worth the price of admission.
It was better than Man of Steel. That is incorrect.
I really like Superman Returns at the time I watched it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those at the time you watched it, and then afterwards you're like...
Because it was like a glass of water in the desert.
Yeah.
Comic book movies, right?
Dude, Man of Steel is completely underrated, and everyone's realizing it now. Everyone's like, "Oh man, wait, Man of Steel was good," and I'm like, "Yeah, bitches, all of it was good."
You said the same thing about Superman Returns.
No. You know what? I won't defend Superman Returns in any way because it's Bryan Singer, and Bryan Singer can really.
Anyway, here we are in the Mid-Geek crisis talking about movies that came out 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way it works. All right, so let's move on. Speaking of death, yeah. Where do we go from here? This is the good one. So Sony. Okay, if we want to talk about hot takes and all that, dude. Oh, whoa. Pardon me. Did you just bring Rotten Tomatoes into this mix? Dude, you lost all arguments. All arguments. Rotten Tomatoes is like the troll central. Like it is like bruh city. Like
we know aggregated ratings are the true definition of artistic quality.
Yeah. No. Not
it's just an average of critics. Okay. Moving on. No. I'm gonna play producer. We're moving on. Moving
on. So one of the big stories this week that hit early on, or a couple days ago actually, and this is a sad one because we on this show have talked a lot about buying physical over digital, over. I have. I mean, I'm in the physical camp.
I think it's great. I'm just looking to spend my money on physical, but yeah, no, that's great.
Well, I mean.
Preserve the past, gents. Preserve the past.
Well, here's a good story on it because you're obviously in the right camp for going digital. Because the other side, the Sony side, is permanently closing in a few months. And this is, again, it's considered rumor at the moment, but it's being reported heavily right now. It looks like Sony is going to close the PS3, Vita, and PSP online stores. This is a kind of a big deal because we have to talk about the fact that this is a whole generation of games. There are tons of games on the PS3 that are low print, are only digital. We have to talk about the fact that games like PS1 games, classic games, are bought through the PS3 store, the PSP, the Vita store.
You can buy them until the store is closed, right?
Right, so you'd have to go buy them now, and then once you own them, I guess you could re-download them. But how's the best way to put this? If you bought a PS1 game, a PS1 classic game, back when your PS3 first came out, or you bought it on your PSP so that you can digitally download on your PSP, yes, you still own it. It's yours forever. But a few years from now, you go, hey, I want to play that PS1 game. Oh, well, it exists digitally. Let me load up my PS3 that can still play those because for some unknown reason, PS4 and PS5 can't play the PS1 games. Like, it doesn't have enough power to. And you can't buy them. You can't log in. The store is completely closed. So, it puts a big gate across a big hunk of library. There's tons of digital-only games. Lots of, like, as we used to call them, Xbox Live Arcade games or just digital indie games that only existed, that were exclusive to the PS3, that never came out on Xbox. So right now, people are scrambling to purchase these games so that they can own them because we've already talked about games like Scott Pilgrim that came out digitally, didn't come out physically, and then were pulled from the store. This is kind of the opposite. They still exist. There's still good games. The only way to play them is on the PS3. But now, once the store closes, you won't be able to buy them at all. There's no physical release. You can't buy them digitally. Even though Sony has them on their server, they're going to close their store.
I could dig it. I mean, like, stores close all the time, but I could dig it. I could dig the feeling of loss and respect it. But, like, stores close all the time, right? So sometimes people go out of business and, like, you can't buy Doc Martens anymore. I mean, you could. They're just not as good anymore, right? They got bought by someone else. So yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm all like, okay, that moment is past, but get your games while you can, right? Well, the Wii U games. Yeah, I can't buy any more Toys R Us batteries. That's always sad. I can't go to Radio Shack and, I don't know, buy walkie-talkies and also batteries. But there's no aftermarket for digital-only sales.
So that's the big problem. And Pergamene is really hitting it,
There is. You could buy a PlayStation 3 with all this stuff installed on it. There totally is an aftermarket for this stuff. People buy these things all the time.
Kind of, right? So you have to buy the entire...
People go into fields and find them in the backyards of fields, right? These things are found and dug out.
Yes and no, right? I mean, if you're talking about like a game sitting on a hard drive, sure. But if they're locked to an account and you don't have the credentials to get into that account, those digital games have a time lock. They're time bombed. As in, let's say you bought a bunch of games on PS3, you logged in, you bought them, you then log off, take that PS3, put it on a shelf. A year and a half from now, you go, I want to play that game. You plug it in, let's say, I forgot my credentials, but they're still on that hard drive. They try to play, they won't. They have to relog back in to relicense themselves.
Oh, yeah, the digital rights management is garbage then.
That is what we're talking about here. It's the digital rights management. It's like he says.
So they're not abandoning the hardware. They're not abandoning the software anymore. They're going to make you have to pay for it. Okay. All right. Then that's the stinger. That's the pirate's life for me, matey.
Right. So here's the downside of this. And again, I hate talking about like console wars and who's doing things better or worse, but you have to really admire the way Microsoft has kind of done this in the fact that they are a software company, right? Microsoft makes Windows. They are a software company. They understand how software works to a degree. It's funny me saying that because Microsoft software has always been kind of a shit show is kind of the best way to put it, right?
Yeah, I remember when we all hated Microsoft.
Right, and they still do. But, I mean, they're obviously still thinking about... oh, my God, Dan, that's a great WMV, that's a Microsoft product. So, yeah, that's one way of saying that Microsoft didn't follow through on this one. But Microsoft has been one of the very first...
Spoilers.
We're getting there. Microsoft has been talking about digital content for years. I mean, they were one of the first... I'll be honest with you, they were the first big company to put the digital game out first. Like they
could
started
not wait to shackle us with digital content that we couldn't access
with Xbox Live Arcade, and at first it was like
Windows. They were like to shackle us with stuff forever.
Right. So they created this marketplace, kind of like Steam, even pre-Steam, right around the same time as Steam, on the console side, where hey, you're a developer. You don't want to publish games. You don't want to put out a physical copy of the game. Why don't you publish through us by putting it on our marketplace and it exists digitally? Microsoft saw that and went, hey, we're going to run with it. But not only that, is they haven't pulled anything from this marketplace. So things that have been on the marketplace, unless it's a rights thing, kind of like Scott Pilgrim or
Teenage
Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Turtles in Time remake, the reshelled version, that was pulled as well from the store.
Or it's like unsupported Drek, right?
Right. But that kind of stuff, that gets pulled from the store because of weird like rights of the patent owner, the copyright owner of like the Turtles and all that. So they can't keep selling it. But that said, a game can sit on their marketplace and you can buy it. And because of backwards compatibility between Xbox 360 to Xbox One to Xbox Series X and S, you can pop in your copy of Crimson Skies from your original Xbox into your Xbox Series X, and it downloads a copy of the game from the server so that you can play it in 4K. Like, there is...
Is it going to look good in 4K, though?
Yeah, it looks great. Like, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I mean it's up on Game Pass. Go check it out.
I make this face because also you liked Superman Returns, right? You just.
I do not like Superman Returns, sir. I do not. These are bold-faced lies.
Slander, he says. Slander.
So yeah.
Okay, all right. So sad for their loss. Blah blah blah. So do we feel the same way about MMOs that have disappeared? Right? Do we feel the same way?
We've talked about it on the show before.
It's just Cautious doesn't like Star Wars. Also slander. I'm sorry, Pergamene. But I remember a ton of MMOs that came out before World of Warcraft killed them all. Right? Are those being pirated and saved by these doing the work of publishers failed to preserve their games? You know what capitalism is really bad at? Preserving the past. Yes, we do. Game preservation is important. I know it is. Especially, I'm thinking about MMOs, which are so ephemeral in their design. You need a server to maintain. City of Heroes is another one, right? There's Star Wars. I think Galaxies.
Asheron's Call. I think what it was. EverQuest, the original one. I mean, there's a lot of games out there, but what's been nice is many of them, not all of them, but many of them. What has happened is the developers go, you know what? We're done with this game. It is an online community. Let's go ahead and release the code to our servers, to the public.
A lot of them do, yeah.
And they'll release that code out to the public, which means then it allows people that want to continue it to kind of build their own servers.
Finds its way out.
Or finds its way out there by a developer going,
I lost it at the con somehow.
Yeah. Oh, this.
I believe is still going strong. Yes.
Oh, this USB stick. I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully, no one takes it. Yeah, I mean, things like that happen all the time for sure. I mean, definitely developers as artists are tied by contracts, which means that they can't release things, but they go, if things get lost along the way, that's totally fine, right?
That's fair.
So, that said, this particular article that I'm putting up here is, exactly that. Pirates have been... there's a couple of stories tied to all of this. One, this is an article kind of talking about how pirates in general are kind of doing the job by preserving a lot of these games and creating things like archives and whatnot. And another one, which is kind of near and dear to my heart, is the Project Deluge. Is an online group where they put up 700 game demos and prototypes for the PS2 era. They put it up on archive.org. You can go and download them. Tons of E3 betas that never saw the light of day.
That garbage you got on your Electronic Games Monthly kind of stuff?
A lot of that stuff, or games from developers that went to shows that the game never came out, or the game build is completely different from what it is the final, where it's amazing, all of a sudden a publisher went, you know what, no, we got a nickel and dime them with a bunch of DLC, or you know what, we don't like the direction.
That was around there, the PlayStation 2 era, right? The DLC?
Right, no, not necessarily, but you know what I mean? A publisher could come in and go, you know what, we don't like the direction you're going in, we need to change it and make it this way. Okay, fine. So that kind of stuff is always interesting to me, game preservation and kind of keeping a log of some of these games, especially some of the big games. It's interesting to me. We've had this conversation before. The reason why Final Fantasy VIII took so long to get any type of remaster that we got last year on the Switch was because Square Enix lost the source code.
Oops.
They just lost it. And the reason being is because when you read the article, read the interviews with the developers, they're like, back in the day, we didn't see that as important. We just we moved on to the next best thing.
I will tell you that I worked in corporate America, big corporation. I worked for Pepsi Cola 10,000 years ago.
Oh, did Pepsi forget their formula? Because
no, they didn't forget their formula. But I moved offices once or twice, and I wanted to be moved into a cubicle that had huge storage cabinets, right? Those big, massive files filled with VHS tapes of old Pepsi ads. Just VHS, like an archive of VHS tapes. No one cared about them. No one. Not even me. They just took up space in my cubicle. So when our offices were eventually closed to be refurbished, they asked what I wanted to do with them.
You were like trash.
Yeah, I was like, chuck those VHS tapes, Grandpa. There's no VHS players anymore. But now in retrospect, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have put them on YouTube or something, right? But yeah, they just chucked them all. No one had any authority over. No one. Eventually, you lose sight of who has authority over these things, right?
Right.
But they did that by accident, right? This was
and the story behind that one is fun because they found out that one individual that went on maternity leave
had it on their
own laptop. They had an entire copy of it, so they like ushered that laptop back to the office to make backups of it because it was the only copy of the movie left. Just insane to me.
I mean, there's a lot on YouTube. I don't know.
I'm sure a lot of them.
Right?
I'm sure a lot of them.
Imagine that a developer, right? You're working at Atari and you're sitting there, and all those tapes are there, or whatever, the cassettes are there, and someone comes in and is like, "What should we do with these?" Well, I don't know. They're not my accountability. They're not my responsibility. You don't know any better, so they tell you to chuck them, and they wind up in landfill, right? That's
I mean, it happens all the time. There's a couple of YouTube channels I follow, and if I had them off the top of my head, I'd kind of tell you guys.
Or in a warehouse sale, I guess, is the other place they wind up, right?
Where their entire like channel is dedicated to like beta versions of specific games, and a good example is just recently that someone unearthed a beta of Zelda of Ocarina of Time, or Zelda 64 as it was called, and. It's got a bunch of like assets from E3, completely different models, completely different enemies, dungeons that were completely pulled out of the game, that kind of stuff. And being able to see them kind of rebuild that in engine and kind of see it gives us a completely different vision of the game. Not saying one version was better than the other. It's definitely saying that maybe they were going one direction and then you see where the shift changed, where they were like, you know what? No, we want to do it this way now. And that kind of stuff is always interesting for any type of like fan of any hobby, to see where things like obviously we all like to see the final version of something, but just like anyone likes behind the scenes footage, everyone likes coffee books that shows the art of or the music of that kind of stuff. People like that stuff. This is exactly that.
I've heard from other humans that people appreciate that stuff.
You, on the other hand, are like, everything else just throw it away.
I know. I recently found like my Mass Effect 3 art book, and I'm like, when did I get this? Who gave me this?
They thought you were a human and that you had a heart, and so someone gave you that. They were like, oh, he would enjoy this since I've seen him like Mass Effect so much. Like, what is this? I saw this in the game already.
I'm all like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, this is not the way I consume Mass Effect. To the trash with you.
How dare ye fill my head with non-canonical...
What is wrong with me?
I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know what's wrong with you, sir.
Broken. I wasn't hugged enough.
You weren't hugged enough. That's exactly... You weren't hugged enough. You were kicked a lot, weren't you?
Exactly. Who needs Flatbook Garrus? I am real Garrus.
Oh, man. Speaking of last week... Oh God! If you are interested in any of the game preservation in general, there is a wonderful YouTube channel that I like to follow called My Life in Gaming, and I want to talk about this real quick. They've been doing a multi-part documentary called Analog Frontiers, kind of talking about like just video game history in general. And a week ago, right after, I think on Wednesday of last week, right after our show, they released their third part to this documentary. It's an hour-long chunk. This one is, and this one is part 3. It's called Preservation and Replication. Mm-hmm. It's a great episode where they talk a lot about this in general. Just a lot of this. The preservation of video games and that kind of stuff. They talk about like the individual that takes the pictures of the consoles on Wikipedia, how no one had taken pictures like this before, and he came to find out that even companies themselves started using the pictures that he was taking in official documentation because they never had anyone take some of these pictures. Some of these consoles, like here they're talking about how like Sony on stage had like pictures that he had taken in his apartment.
Oh my gosh.
and so he gave them all up to like Wikipedia and the Creative Commons and whatnot. And it's just interesting how the fans are the ones kind of coming back and creating this like content. And it's a great channel, a great documentary. I mean, it starts off with this, and then they talk about emulation. They talk about how Raspberry Pi and emulation, and how there's nothing wrong with that. How emulation is a way to kind of play some of these consoles, because without it, we wouldn't be able to see things. Some of these games, for example, like the topic that we just talked about, how games are being lost to digital because of emulation, what allows us to play these games on systems that either might be inachievable, you don't have them anymore, they're dead, they're broken. So yeah, it's a great episode. If you're interested in any type of history of gaming or preservation in general, go check it out. It's a great watch if you just want to sit back and kind of soak in some documentary. This is a good one.
Cool. Analog.
So this is My Life in Gaming. It's their newest episode, and this particular video series is called their Analog Frontiers. This is their part 3. So they've got 3 different ones so far. And they talk about emulation. They talk about, again, here they're showing how different ways to play handhelds on big screens, that sort of stuff. It's great. It's a great. Go give it a watch.
Is that the same guy talking, or 3 different guys with the same haircut and glasses? I'm just
a couple of different guys. A couple of different guys for sure.
I'm teasing. At the Strong Museum, that's up here in Rochester. The Strong Museum, Museum play. They hire Rochester kids to play through video games whose hardware is deteriorating or source code has been lost and record those playthroughs. Oh yeah, that's awesome. The Strong Museum is actually pretty cool. They've got a nice archive of found or
it's interesting that
miscellanea related to role playing games as well. That
it's almost like I meant to do this in a way. Like I meant to like be a video game aficionado because I lived in Syracuse, which is right down the street, I guess, from the Strong Museum. Only to move to Dallas, where the National Video Game Museum is now. So it's like wait a minute, the two biggest museums. The video game version of Fish. Yeah, apparently so. I am the roadie. I totally am the roadie.
I mean, you go to PAX South, you go to PAX East, right? You do all the video games.
We do it all.
It's awesome.
For sure. Good stuff. So what else is new? There's a couple more things that we want to talk about.
Well, I just kicked off a GoFundMe to buy Discord. Do you think we're ever gonna find enough money to buy it? Is that?
Did you put your? I think you have to put your going amount as 11 billion. It seems that Microsoft is thinking about buying it for 10.
So, like, even if all of the gamers in the world that use Discord came together to chip in to try and keep it community owned, they could not afford that price tag.
No. I mean,
$10 billion.
Can we talk about something real quick? Can we talk about how Microsoft walks in the room, not even spitting millions? Like the last acquisition they did was in the billions. Here they go with I just see them march in the room with just like a briefcase.
Don't you remember the old Simpsons episode where Bill Gates buys what a Compu servo tune from Homer Simpson and just writes a check and knocks over the stuff? That's what I imagine, right? Because even back then they were buying stuff and putting them out of business. So this is what they're still doing today. It's just the numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Minecraft was $5 billion?
Yeah.
Discord is $10 billion?
Well, I like how Minecraft, which is definitely bigger in my eyes than Discord somehow is going to be worth more. Because, I mean, I guess the data in Discord is what they're buying, so it's worth more in their long run. I don't know. It's interesting to me. I
mean, you get an idea of what gamers are using or what people in general are using Discord for, right? They're running role-playing games on it. They are running their gamer groups on it, their clans, their guilds.
I want to agree with you and disagree, and this is why.
Well, that's fair. Bethesda was 7.5, so Discord's valuation is... So that data must be worth a lot more.
Right. So I get what you're saying. It's like a 90s BBS. But I'm okay with that because I don't need the graphical interfaces. I like that Discord kind of takes me back to MIRC-style chat rooms where it's a lot of little command... I like the intimacy of Discord. It reminds me of what Twitter kind of used to be, where... You're a developer. I mean, every time we go to PAX and we walk into a developer, they're like, hey, follow us on Twitter and, hey, join our Discord channel. And sure enough, you pop in and you one-to-one conversation with the developer, one-to-one conversation with the engineer of this particular product that you're following. It's interesting. There's a level of transparency with Discord that other forms don't give you. I don't know why that feels that way, because there's no different than an email, I guess. But I guess being able to hop on and go and, hey, let's video chat, or hey, let's all within the application, and it's pretty clean. It's pretty fast too. Like Discord is actually clean and fast. So I don't understand. I'm hoping Microsoft doesn't mess it up if they do buy it.
They will.
Of course they will.
So Dan Camp says, I feel like it's super overwhelming whenever I go into a channel. There's no way to keep... This is my problem with Discord, right? Like, they have a general channel. It's impossible to keep up. Like, we've got, 8 people on our game channel, and if everyone's talking, you can't keep up. but they have like dozens of people, and there's one person spamming a cat emoji, and other people are inside jokes that you'll never get in a million years, and all you want to do is ask a question about how to beat this one particular level, and it takes forever to get an answer. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm an old man though. I get people can process all that faster, or they're looking for something like that. Do I think Microsoft was screwed up? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I mean, look, and again, I'm saying this in a very loving way. We on this channel tend to be pro Microsoft because we like Xbox and we like Game Pass and we like what they do. But we also don't like corporations on this channel. We talk about how corporations bad. Corporations don't need fans. They don't need people defending them.
Want your money.
They just want your money, and Microsoft wants money. So, that said, pros and cons here. One, as a Microsoft user and an Xbox fan and someone that likes the Microsoft ecosystem for their gameplay, as in I prefer Xbox Live versus PSN. I prefer the chat channels and the like the just the integration between Windows and Xbox.
Sure.
That Microsoft gives.
They made a lot of our life easier.
They did.
In order to connect all of our data points so they can make more money off of us.
Right.
What does Discord give them that's worth $10 billion or a $12 billion valuation? That's the part that blows my mind. That basically TeamSpeak, rest in peace, right, is worth $11 billion, right? That's absolutely wild.
I don't know, man. It's an interesting conversation. They obviously see something we don't. I mean, we saw what happened with Mixer. That was obviously like a big purchase, or I guess they started it, or they purchased it and they started it. Mixer's an interesting one.
Mixer was theirs, right?
Mixer was there from the very beginning. They didn't pan out. They just kind of gave up within a week. They were like, we're done. And like they gave everyone kind of a pink slip and ran. And Microsoft...
Because they figured out they couldn't compete, right? They threw a lot of money at Mixer and they couldn't compete. And so, like, okay, guarantee if Microsoft Discord, they're going to make it their version of Slack.
Yeah, but they've already got Teams, man. That's kind of what I'm saying. Is it's interesting to me that they're purchasing this because they're gonna keep Discord part of the Xbox network.
Boo! I hate the way that sounds.
By the way, that's another bit of news. Microsoft is just kind of in the news this week. Xbox Live is no more. The moniker that is Xbox Live is dead. Officially, it is now rebranded.
We're getting good at this.
As Xbox Network, and that
rest in peace, Xbox Live.
That hurts a little. There's something about that stings. I just like when Microsoft.
Joe and me, everybody. Joe's just now getting old. I am already old.
Yeah, but you came out of the womb angry and curmudgeon-y. Like
Virgin Records disappeared. The Virgin Megastore in my city disappeared. Coliseum Books disappeared. I witnessed the death.
Well, so did I. Incredible Universe.
The 3,500 electronic boutiques are gone. Right, all the stores.
EB Games. I get it. I mean, we see the death, the rise and death of these.
KB Toys. Does anybody else remember KB Toys?
Yeah, KB Toys. I remember. I mean, God's sake, yes. All that. I'm used to death in fandom.
Thanks, millennials. You're killing all our stuff.
But this is an interesting one. I don't understand. I mean, I get that Xbox wants to like synergize with Xbox Game Studios or Xbox Studios now, and then Xbox Live is now Xbox Network, and I just don't understand why Live had to go. It already had a pedigree. It's something that kind of paved the way with the way we played online games on console. It was better than PlayStation Network in its implementation from the very beginning. It had a logo, it had a pedigree. I mean, they every 5 years or so they would give you like an avatar saying, "Hey, Xbox, it's your Xbox Live anniversary. Here's your 15 years in Xbox Live." Now it's like what? Now it's what, year one with Xbox Network? Yeah, it's the same thing, but it just loses its degree of weight. It's no longer like a service. It's just there.
It's a network, dude. It's got its fingers in everything you do, and please don't leave our network and all that good stuff.
Well, you can't now, right? Like with Discord, with Discord being purchased, which we know what's going to happen. Rumors like this don't appear and disappear. Like
$10 billion.
Yeah, it's totally Dr. Evil money, man. They just walk in $10 billion. Like, It's like I can't even comprehend the walk. How do you walk into the also?
Yeah, exactly. Xbox Live was a service. Xbox Networks is an ecosystem.
Yeah.
You gotta add some X's at the end of that, right? It's gonna be real. It's gonna be real amazing. Microsoft Skynet.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, I like the name Xbox in general. I don't like it just being watered down with network. It's like we know it's a network. It's always been a network.
What does network even mean anymore? Shake your fist harder, boy.
I don't even know anymore. I don't know.
It's going to be fine. Xbox Network, it means they're going to charge us $2 more from what they're already giving us. That's what I'm excited for. What are you playing, Joe? What are you playing?
What am I playing? Oh, man. I stopped playing this week. I was busy doing some other stuff. I had some home chores this week that I couldn't.
Built that beautiful shelf behind you. Let's not let that pass without.
Yeah. So the background has changed. There will be some more talking head videos coming from me. Look how much
organization and joy has occurred back there. Look how much happiness.
Yeah, I mean, if I can
put some pictures up on the Facebooks, man. Those are beautiful. He's got the Ecto 1. He's got some good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff up there.
Got the Back to the Future Pepsi up there on the top in the correct bottle.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff back there.
He did keep the loading ball, right? Yeah, that's exactly.
Oh, of course,
right.
Without a
hell yeah to that storage. That is not storage, right? That is display. That is a beautiful celebration of the joyful things in Joe's life, right? That's what. It's all about,
yeah. So I mean, I think what was happening is and again. More pandemic talk.
Good callback, Dan. Is that a Superman Returns figure? Probably, but we won't. He's got one.
Are you ready for this, folks? You ready for this one? No one is ready for this one.
Uh-oh. Is it signed? A signed VHS tape of Superman Returns? My man Brandon Ruth in the house. That's beautiful. Well done. When do you open them? Have you already opened them? And played with them?
Absolutely not. These I won't open.
Those you won't open. I love it. Of course, yeah. See, you're among your people. We all want to celebrate that. Mint in the box. Mint. Look how terrible that looks. That is fantastic. Way to go, dude. Way to go.
Yeah. I mean, you and I both. We talked about this. I had the Sobe energy drink, the Superman Returns. So again, Superman Returns was kind of an interesting one with me, just to kind of come back around to it. I was happy for it, right? Like it was the return of my hero in cinema. We hadn't seen anything since Christopher Reeves. It was nice to see this kind of back. I remember following all the weekly blogs at the time. It was kind of a new thing to do like this online weekly blog. You know how the production is going, and it was exciting. There was hype involved with this online thing. So when we went to go see the movie, first off, I devoured all of the merchandise, right? It was the first time I got to see Superman merchandise on the shelf again in a very long time. So, I mean, I bought everything I had a logo on it. I had the Sobe energy drink still in the can. I had a couple of the Pepsi cans with the Superman Returns logo stuff on it. I still have the bag of Doritos that are kryptonite flavor.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We have to eat those live on our show one day.
Oh.
You miss Sobe? That's my fault. I was involved in the killing of that.
It's that guy. By the way, yes, that guy right there killed Sobe. I've heard this. Yeah, that's no joke. Guys, like that's real talk on this show. This guy right here, that guy right there, that guy right there. Oh man!
Did you unplug your mic? I love it.
Good.
Did you unplug your mic? I love it.
I loved it. I love it.
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. No. He's on subs falling. I'll be back. We're gonna bring Sobe back.
It's funny because when I actually joined,
let's bring that up. Let's end the show with that.
I joined the Pepsi team when they acquired Sobe, and they had an enormous portfolio And they were the brand that was out there, and they were strong, and they put the product into their fans' hands. They were amazing, and Pepsi talk all the time. I'll compete Netflix, you bastard. One thing that they did not care about, everyone, was quality. So there was a lot of problems, right? We had to standardize their product for Pepsi to sell it, and that involved killing a lot of their flavors. And it turns out that when you kill a lot of Sobeys flavors, people aren't as interested in Sobe. They
had a huge amount of flavors.
Oh, they had like 35 flavors, like 4 teas, 16 juices. None of it was ever in stock. It was a big pain in the butt to do. And then they had them in those fat, like 300-pound glass bottles, right? Those were always
they were huge, thick bottles. Does anyone remember? Was it the dragon fruit one? There was a dragon fruit one.
I remember the dragon fruit. I remember getting yelled at by people who weren't getting the dragon fruit because it was always out of stock.
So good. That stuff was it was delicious. It was guarana and like dragon fruit, in like a juice.
You want to know what else tasted good?
Killing it.
So delicious. Reading those letters, bring it back, and I'm like, nope. Coming after Mountain Dew next, baby.
That guy right there. I can't believe it. Oh my god. Yeah. I remember Rain. This guy right here. I remember he told me that, and there was some salty moments. There was some.
Do you like Sobe Life Water? Because I worked on that project as well. Sobe Life Water was also one of my splendid operational. Yeah, damn. Pergamene, I'm a monster. You guys start to come to terms with this, the more you would enjoy Cautious's presence. I'm a monster. I have scrapbook of Sophie letters where I'm like, with like a pipe.
Wait, you just realized this? You I love it. I love Rose is like right on it. He's like, you're just realizing this, bruh. Yeah. Bruh. It's just exactly that right there.
It's not. It's killing me, baby. I'm killing you.
Exactly.
Oh my god, that brings me so much. I am filled with so much joy remembering those times. Do you guys like the creams? Because they had like the peach cream. They had those like weird pina coladas. Oh, Sobe had so many flavors.
Oh, the cream ones were definitely not my bag. I thought those were weird. Those were weird. They were like a milk product, but not. They were definitely a dairy.
Yeah, they were definitely. Oh no, absolutely not. Right, no one did. No one
liked those, but Sobe doubled down on those. So I remember
they were like the peaches and cream. They had to be in every variety pack, right? It was like ludicrous. You always had to sell it somewhere. So yeah.
Yeah, I do remember going into some stores and like they'd be out of the flavors that I like. I do remember they moved from like a glass bottle to a aluminum.
They had some in metal bottles, yep. Yeah, and then they had them in plastic bottles, right?
And those aluminum bottles were awesome because I remember using one for my water bottle for a very long time because it was just like it was big, nice big and I'm guessing the production of that bottle was like more than whatever they sold it for.
I don't know that I worked on the metal ones. Yeah, maybe.
Honestly,
probably yeah. Like that Pepsi behind you, it costs more to make that than we did make it.
Just know this, folks. And
I'll try to soccer practice with that aluminum bottle.
I'll tell you this.
That memory.
Just know that he didn't work at Coke because he would have killed Fruitopia.
Listen, if you don't buy enough of it and it's expensive to make, I kill it. That's what I like to do. I like to kill things you like. That's what I enjoy. Buy more of it, or it's dead. That's how we.
You see why we work on this show? I want you to just understand. Can someone make a?
This is why I sit here and I go, the PlayStation 3 store is closed.
Yeah, can someone make a clip of that for me, please? Because I want you to understand that what he just said there. If you like it, I will kill it, and it makes me happy.
Well, if it doesn't make any money, that's the thing. That's the capitalism of it, right? Just because I like it doesn't mean it has any value in our horrible capitalist society, and that's what I was trained to believe. That's how I operated. That's what I did. I liked Coke Black back in the day. Delicious. Thanks, Dan. Thanks. Thanks. The whole time I worked at Pepsi, my brother drank Coke and would send me pictures. It was fantastic. So keep drinking the Coke. My pension's with Pepsi, though. If you could buy some of that stuff, that'd be great. Oh, yeah. Back to Xbox Network, everybody. Pergamene, let's get together. I can tell you some Sobe stories.
Oh man, yeah. He's got some good ones. Definitely some. He's probably still under NDA on some of the conversations for sure.
I'm free. I just don't know if I should put them online, right? So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure you. I think one of the great stories you told me was the Crystal Pepsi stuff. Let's talk about that on the show. We should have a conversation about it. Guy, subscribe, come back next week. I'll get him to talk about some of the Pepsi stuff. It's always good. I definitely enjoy it.
There's a mafia, dude. They'll take me out. Like you'll be like.
Is it like the maple syrup mafia?
Yeah, it's worse. More evil than the maple syrup mafia.
Also, thanks, because of you, I know some of the terms like belly washers.
Mm-hmm. Belly washers is when it's less than 5% juice. They call it a belly washer.
They call it a belly washer.
Not
and I'm like,
at all.
To this day, I go to the store and I look at it and I'm like, that's a belly washer.
That's a belly washer. It's not worth drinking.
Not worth drinking. Man, good stuff. You learn a lot on this show, folks. Again, subscribe, share. We love you so much.
We do. It's so enjoyable to share with all of you. That's a nice logo. I like that. Thanks for jumping on, everybody. Always a pleasure laughing.
For sure. Again, take care. Episode 118. My God, 118 is in the can.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone.